Hey church, as we move toward whatever God has for us in this next season, let's take a look back at the last 15 years and some of the exciting milestones along the way. In early 2007, we launched Vista into the Northwest community by having our first worship service at the Dublin Rec Center. It was a time when we were growing quickly, seeing people become energized in their faith, and we weren't all that concerned about owning buildings. Instead, we funneled 17% of our giving into global missions and supported ministries in countries like Cambodia, India, Kenya, and Papua New Guinea. 20 teams of volunteers from Vista have visited and encouraged these partnerships through short-term missions trips over the years, and we've had 2 long-term missionaries come out of our ranks and impact the lives of folks in these countries as well. Through our connection with Asia's Hope, we've been able to be a part of the care and growth of 40 children who were previously considered to be at risk of exploitation. 6 of them are now in or have graduated college, and 1 of them is married and has a son of his own. Because of our long friendship with Pastor Dan, we have enabled the building of 7 churches as part of the Restoration Revival Churches Network. More pastors and leaders have been raised up, and people have come to know and worship Jesus as a result. Vista has also been on the move over the years as we outgrew the rec center, had a stint at Kaufman High School, and then put down some roots at Dublin Jerome High School where we lived until COVID shuttered the building. We enjoyed an unprecedented relationship with the school and their administration for 11 years. We have always believed that the bulk of ministry is done outside of the walls of the church building, while also recognizing the importance of having an anchoring space to gather as a body. Adding in the component of trying to make it easier to invite friends and neighbors to join us for worship, we launched a second campus into the Worthington area that met in the movie theater. 4.5 years later, we tried it again in Hilliard, adding a level of production to the mix that we hadn't yet experienced. And later that same year, as the challenges of being in the theater mounted, God opened a way for us to purchase the buildings that now make up the North Central facility. Since moving in, we have been able to help at least 6 other churches and various organizations and ministries by allowing them to use our space in the ways that they needed. Some of those ministries are homegrown, like the Bloom Free Store, which serves families with young kids in our city by providing essential items like diapers, clothes, toys, and bedding. The Worship Arts Center of Columbus sees leaders and groups from all over the city come together to worship Jesus, pray, dream, and build a greater sense of the community of faith in this part of Ohio. Healing, praise, and life are being stirred up in that place. Folks are being equipped, encouraged, and sent out to be ministers of the gospel through events like the IF Gathering Conference, the annual collegiate conference for campus church staff, and Young Life trainings. Over the years, we've seen thousands of people be inspired in their faith through the Christmas programs, the music and stories of how God has worked in us and in the world. Hundreds of folks, young and old and in between, have demonstrated their faith and commitment to Jesus by being baptized. Whether they planned on it ahead of time or were prompted and obedient to the Spirit in the moment, these declarations and steps are always a cause for celebration. Equally exciting is when parents and grandparents dedicate their children and grandchildren back to the Lord. Hundreds of families have publicly committed to raising their kids in ways that might foster faith in their lives. It takes a village, and Vista has been that village for so many. We have prayed for thousands of people in our collective worlds by using the Bless 10 tool, petitioning God on behalf of our friends and family who are far from Him, and listening to the Holy Spirit about how we can serve them and share the hope of Jesus with them. Additionally, biblical community has been a place for many of us and many others to meet with God, grow in faith, and encourage one another along the way. God has been good to us, and we're trusting Him to show us where to go next. For more info on all of what is going on at Vista now, check out our website, vistacc.org.